Hi loves, and welcome to this episode of the Inner Plane Transmission series where I cover different transmissions that I've documented in my vlogs and bring them into word form. And depending on the energy, I may expand on them or just leave them as is. So before we begin, let's go ahead and just take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes if you want, and give a good exhale out. And you can take as many of those as you desire. Okay. The magic of this exact moment. No matter where you are in your healing journey, you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is no wrong place, no need to compare yourself to where you think you should or shouldn't be, or who you are or are not. Right now is where the alchemy is happening. Now, even just with that first part, even though there's no wrong place and no need to compare ourselves to who or how we think we should be, that's often what we find happening in our day-to-day, in these moments when we meet ourselves. And those are tied to deep-rooted belief systems from our experiences. They are laid energetic foundations that we were taught and conditioned depending on kind of the quality of our environment, how we were met in the process of our life. So to use for example, in childhood, when certain emotions arise, maybe even anger or frustration, how was that met? How was that met by parents, environment, caretakers, teachers, culture? You know, what even looks did you receive or comments? All of these get deeply interwoven into how it is that we were met growing up, essentially going through the process of life unfolding, is how we are taught to meet ourselves in those emotions, in those situations, and it runs really deep. So maybe just ponder for a moment, what was the quality of the energy of what you were met with as you were discovering who you were and learning how to express it, or different things came up, maybe sometimes confusion. How were these things met? What was said to you? What was the quality of the energy behind it? Because that is a really big player in how these deep-rooted systems become formed. They become coping mechanisms. They become coping strategies and survival mechanisms to survive that process of life. So it's really deep. And the thing about the exact moment, each moment, is that this exact moment is the portal between two worlds of what has been and what is becoming, which is truly a magical moment. So as the things that maybe have been running through deep-rooted belief systems and how we meet ourselves in the moment, when we can start to cultivate a relationship and connection to what's been playing underneath, it offers this opportunity of what gets to be created from that place. Are we going to meet it the same? And there's layers and rhythms of that also. It's a practice in how we meet it, but it's opportunities in how we meet it and how we're meeting ourselves. So this is the magic that's not always obvious. It's not seen unless you, with intention, take time to drop into it. Otherwise, it's just playing out, right? Because even a deep sigh from exhaustion whispers to connect into the body, to look. And sometimes looking into where we are in the moment can seem and feel scary, as much of the way we've seen or see ourselves runs first through the filters of our experiences. Again, what was the quality of how you were taught to meet yourself? As to a level, the visual I keep getting as you're learning yourself. So from being a small child and the different things that arise in you and how you met them, what was the energy of, you know, how your parents or caretakers or the environment, society, culture, what was the looks, what was, again, the different words that were said, those become imprints, those lay the foundation for deep-rooted belief systems of how you have to cope with those, how you get to meet yourself in those moments. These summations of ourself may seem to be black and white and linear, the having or not having, the being or not being, where we've been versus where we want to be or should be. The should is really being emphasized too, just the energy right now, all the shoulds, who we thought we should be, who we were told we should be, something other than where we were or other than ourselves. And so all of these things can feel really scary to look at because it's the summation of who we've been told we are or get to be or exist. Yet the wisdom of the past is being summoned. It is an innate wildness that we are a part of, not bound by time, but rather an internal rhythm summoning us to hear its potency and reconnect. And that time, the timeline is coming in a sense of there's this constant measurement that we often have been conditioned to revert to, is that, oh, well, once I get here, once this thing happens, then I'll be, you know, then I'll be loved, or then I'll be worthy, or then I'll be who I should be. It's this time thing that in this moment now there's a lacking of, there's something that is missing, and that keeps detracting from who we are in that moment, the love, the essence, the birthright that is ours. And this doesn't mean we always have to be connected into it. Yet when that current of belief system is running through all the time, it really takes away, keeps us separate from ourselves in a really, really deep way. So when we tune in, our presence opens revelations around what is considered to be mundane life. So, in another sense, same shit, different day. When it's the same shit, different day, this mundane life that's happening, these moments actually contains the substance of creation. So, this exact moment, each moment, this exact moment is offering a chance to refine what has been into what can be. So, it's asking, what is asking to be seen, to be healed, released, nurtured, transmuted in the fire, or created as what is becoming is formed. So if, to just give a visual in a sense, if we look at, just say this is a timeline, and every part, every moment on the timeline, there's the infiniteness of possibility. So different choices, thoughts, all different worlds depending on what is happening in that moment, and everything is available to it in that moment, and then what is the current that's running through. So all of this versus, we can look at it as a timeline, but the internal rhythm, the natural wisdom of our wildness contains the whole of our being in every moment. So it is this whole of our being, all the emotions, all the feels, all the infiniteness, the possibilities, the black and white, everything between, all of it is kind of like this accessible in every single moment, no matter where we are in whatever timeline. And so these mundane pieces, it's like what has transpired, what has been, and what's ready to be released, what's ready to be seen, what's ready to be integrated in a way. And when I say integrated, because even when I say release, it's not just a letting go of, it's that, here's this place that's been operating for a long time, and it's actually, it's inhibiting my connection to myself. It's this maybe deep belief system that I'm not enough, and once I get to this other place, then I'll be worthy. It holds me apart from all of it, that I am worthy now. I can still have goals, I can still reach for more of, because that is another part of life, the rhythm unfolding, that there is always more, it's always unfolding. Yet just because there's more doesn't detract or mean that somehow one is less than at the moment that comes before. That makes sense. So every moment, even the in-between places of your life, are a potent process of your true self emerging. It is there waiting for you to bathe in the magic of the moment and the magic of becoming. And a part of that lies within the unknown. There is always more life unfolding. And oftentimes in our conditioning, in that process, again, we've been put into boxes, put into, you have to know, you should know. We're constantly asked, even from a little age, what do you want to be when you grow up? Who do you want to be when you grow up? And to supposed to have this answer when, I mean, haven't even had the experience to know if you really do enjoy that, or is that is something that you want. I'm thinking even of my daughter's example. She, loved animals and really wanted to be a vet, and her and her best friend wanted to be little vets when they were older. And then my daughter saw a show of a vet rescue, helping all these different animals, and she said, oh my God, I don't that actually is not what I want to do. That is something that she's glad there are people that do that, but she found for herself, maybe that's not the part that I want to do. She had something different in mind. So it's like, you can have these ideas, and sometimes those can also be challenges that you move through, where it feels something squeamish and you meet a strength on the other side that you didn't know you had, or the whole realms of it where, oh, that's really not the resonance of what I thought I wanted or what was coming. So it's like all of these different experiences, even the challenging things or the things that we may feel, oh, I don't, that's not something that I want. Again, that infiniteness, this limitlessness of how we meet it, how we made it, what is it that is resonant with us, is going to be so unique, and there's limitless possibilities for each person. So there's a lot that is in that unknown, that is a discovery, that's becoming, that's constantly unfolding. And so when we've been taught this is how you should be, this is what you should be, or how you should feel, or how you should feel about something, that's really coming back to that paradigm, that reinforcement that it's something external knows deeper, better for you, or gauges the feelings that you should or shouldn't be having, or the process or the journey of it and to it and through it. And so it's so boxed in, and that unknown is that deep, wild, innate process that is within us, that has the ability and the capacity in every moment. And how we show up, how we meet it, the communication, the relationship to it, is what is really limitless possibilities. The chrysalis, just as the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, it must completely dissolve its former self. These parts aren't shed or discarded, rather it becomes literal goo to be digested, much like our experiences are meant to be. A deep innate wisdom unfolds as all these cells have turned into nothingness, alchemize in the moment as imaginal discs, morphing into exactly what they are meant to be. And in the magic of this exact moment, you're in the midst of forming your next creation. This moment contains the same innate wisdom unfolding into what is meant to be. And this ripple effect that it has in the self, it really does reverberate through cosmic webs. It's witness under the stars and across dimensions through this portal of our human life. And this magical space that is creation in motion is a chance to get to know ourselves on a deeper level in the now. This is a potency where we can drop in and see ourselves truly, fully. This is that integration of what has been into what is becoming. This is where, when I said earlier about even releasing something, what wants to be released, I want to expand on that sense of releasing something or letting go, that it's more of allowing the natural rhythm of the cycle of the life to do and be in its process. If a cycle has ended, it's not just a total pushing away, it's that the cycle has ended, and in that ending, something new is simultaneously being created. So when a plant dies and it's in that natural process and it's decomposing, it's rotting, it's becoming kind of breaking down, right? The life cycle has ended. It breaks down, and yet in its breaking down, it becomes a part of the soil. It becomes a part of the nutrients that are feeding the new life that is, being birthed or around it already, like nurturing what is and what's becoming. So it's that same process in our own being, that when to gauge that, like, where we are in the moments, there's going to be rhythms and feels. It's not about having to be happy all the time or have it all figured out. Yet this is what we've been conditioned we have to do, and in every moment to be in that moment of perfection and knowing and this or that or should be. And just to use another example with like my daughter, is she started a new school. It's a whole new process. There's a lot of online computer pieces that I'm trying to figure out, and we're having these moments of just pure frustration. And even in that pure frustration, the moment, like, those are the things that are asking to be expressed in this moment. Okay, and did we have some freakouts and like just fucking kind of so overwhelmed in a way? It's like, yeah, we did. And we had to go through that process. And through that process, again, frustrations need to be expressed, because learning new things can be frustrating and you just want to know it, or you want it to be easy. And it's within that, how are we meeting ourselves? We get to be frustrated. And within that frustration, we kind of had a conversation afterwards in the sense of, okay, we're both learning this. We don't know this. We're learning this together. We get to be frustrated. Can we maybe also try to be gentle with one another and be gentle with ourselves in this process? And that is that part of every moment. It's not that we need to judge the frustration or judge that how it went down. Yeah, that was a part of it. Can we learn from it though? Can we take what transpired and learn and cultivate something from that experience? Absolutely. And these are a part of that fullness of where we get to meet ourselves fully and truly in every moment. And the unique blueprint of the soul awakens. It's there to offer wisdom of all the places that have felt not good enough or unlovable are actually a part of what is calling you to transform it, like the chrysalis. It is there to remind you what is meant to come from you, and who you are is filled with limitless possibilities that echoes into the universe. Carl Sagan said, the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. So ask yourself, in this exact moment, what is calling to me? Maybe what's coming up? What is summoning me to see it so I can digest from what has been? And that digestion process is a crucial, necessary part to integrate what has been into what is becoming. And that might be another food for thought, something to think about. What was the quality of the energy that I was told, how I was met, that I get to process things? Or is there no room, or am I not allowed? Do I need to shove it down, push it away, sweep it under the carpet, justify, have to explain, or make somebody else know? Like, what are the processes? What's the quality of the processes that we were shown and taught and imprinted? Because those are going to be running deep under there. So how can I cultivate more ways to process, to digest, to give space to these parts of myself? So, and what happens through that process is, what is the wisdom takeaway from the experiences of the past into this present moment? And sometimes the deep-rooted belief systems can feel like that's the takeaway. Oh, I'm not lovable, or I'll never be this, or all these things. That might be the takeaway from those experiences. And when we offer presence into these places, what often unfolds is looking into, can you follow those threads? Where did you first feel that? Where did you hear that? Where was that coming from, that you weren't good enough, or where it felt like a disappointment maybe, or all these places? Is that those what has felt like the summation of yourself is these, in a way, like deep-rooted pieces that are part of your experience, yet it's not the whole of you. So maybe it's learning, oh, that person really didn't honor my emotions, or that that circumstance, those people or persons or environment really wasn't conducive to my emotional health or well-being, or my physical health and well-being. So what can I do? What can I take away from that? Ooh, the system, the body knows, the emotions know when I'm around someone or in an environment that is echoing kind of that same like dissonance, that same not honoring or no space for me. My system knows it. So where can you begin to meet those places that, ooh, I have a choice now. Maybe I didn't have a choice as a child, but I have the choice now that I can walk away from, remove myself from these people or situations that are not nourishing my being. And again, it's so multifaceted, so many layers. So inquire, invite gentleness in a sense of meeting yourself in this process and what comes up. And how can I use that to refine and put into the magic that I am creating that's unfolding? So in the natural process of every moment, as you cultivate space to meet yourself with all that's transpired, with what you've experienced, and maybe something just a little more, I see a little bit of the bigger picture, that thread, that root, that made me feel that I couldn't be or do or say the right thing, or however that shows up. How can I start to bring just even that pure presence begins to alchemize what's being created? And you can get really playful and creative with these things, of all the, just like the tree breaking down and composting and feeding for the new life. You can visualize and imagine like all that, the angst and the compost and the pain, composting into, instead of keeping self apart from self, to begin to feed and integrate into wisdom in the system, so that it can nourish, this inner compass as I'm navigating and processing, walking, moving, existing through my life, that I have these different things from my experience that can become wisdom, where that wounding alchemizes into wisdom and helps me navigate this process of what is really correct for me, what's really aligned in every part in this moment, which is an unfolding process. And it doesn't always have to be known what's on the other side, right? But there's a wisdom, that innate wild wisdom that's a part of our natural rhythm that will continue to unfold more and more and more of you. So I would love to hear just any of your process or what's asking to be seen in this present moment. You can always access these blogs on my website or sign up for my email where I send tips and tools and just love notes. And just thank you for being here in this moment. Thank you for being you, and always sending love into your journey and all realms.